How you doing? This is Barry, that Goat Metal Show, with the weekly recap. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's having a great time. There's been some stuff that's been going on. That Goat Metal Show has been officially back. We put out some stuff. We had Rich on the scene over there with a great show with Fulci, and you know the footage is up. So make sure you guys go and you check that shit out. All right. Also, my man Rich is going to be going next week to Maryland Death Fest. So be on the lookout for footage of Maryland Death Fest. He's going to be my boots on the ground. He's going to be doing things and doing some investigations and checking things and maybe getting me some metal bochinche over there too. All right. So let's get to some news. All right, we got American black metal man Black Braid is hitting the road in September and October. Support for their new record Black Braid 3 to tour features Lamp of Murmur and Dotstrit as the openers, with Goldverslot trading spots with Lamp of Murmur on the Canadian dates. The tour kicks off in September 18th at the Brick by Brick in San Diego, California, wraps up October 11th at 1720 in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I hadn't really heard too much about Black Braid in a while since that little controversy they had in Europe with the racial comment. But look, that doesn't distinguish the fact that they're a good band. I do like their stuff, and I'm interested in getting a new album. So we'll see how that goes from there. All right. Next we have Fugitive. Fugitive, which you already know has members of Power Trip, returns with a new record deal and very death metal single. All right. The band featuring guitarist Blake Ibanez, Victor Gutierrez, Seth Gilmore, bassist Andy Masser, and drummer Lincoln Mullins is back in a pretty big way. Fugitive has been signed to Blue Grape Records, the new label formed by former Roadrunner execs Dave Rath and Cease Waisel, which I have to go and do some checking on that, is now streaming their very old school death metal track, Spheres of Virulence, as an absolute fucking ripper. More music expected later this year with details to be revealed sometime in the future. In the meantime, Fugitive has a bunch of tour dates coming up thanks to Summer Slaughter 2025. And I believe we got over starting on my birthday, July 8th in St. Petersburg, Florida at the Janus Live. Hey, make sure you go and you check that shit out, man. I mean, from my understanding, that's some really good shit. And I think the bands that are going to be playing with them is Hatebreed, Malevolence Gridden, and Snuffed on Sight and Insight. Should be pretty good. All right. And then also we go into some Alice in Chains news. Sort of an update. I know we put it out about the drummer for Alice in Chains. They had to go and stop their tour in May because of medical issues that he's having. As far as what a lot of the speculation going on, it tends to, for me, getting more and more to what I really thought it was. Sean Kinney provides an update on his health. He says that, sarcastically, the good news is that I'm going to be fine. I'm going to live. All right. Alice in Chains recently canceled all their May touring plans after drummer Sean Kinney suffered a non-life-threatening medical emergency. Kinney has now issued a statement saying he's doing fine and is going to live. He didn't go into any specifics of what happened, which is fair. Dude's personal business doesn't need to be the world's business as long as he's doing all right. That's awesome. Again, this is the other thing. He basically goes into some stuff about it where he's I'm not gonna get too much into reading it, but where he's just saying that he spoke to the doctors, they told him not to play, and he's got to listen to them. But the part that got me, which again goes with my theory, is that he said he quickly went to the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Again, I know it's none of my business, nobody's business. The man is going through some stuff, but look, if anything, I think if it's something that personal, you really didn't have to put it out there that it's a medical issue. You could have just said, look, something came up personal, and look, it is what it is. You don't have to give really explanations. It's personal. That's it. It's just like a job. When sometimes when you put out a sick note, they want to know why you were sick. You don't have to tell them shit. You don't have to tell us shit. That's it. Look, I'm going. Personal issue, shows are canceled May, they'll be redone. And that's it. You don't really got to get into it, because now what happens is you're putting that out there, and it's like now people start speculating, and it is what it is, but just that's just my take. And then we go into Portugal with Gwyn. I believe the band's name is Gwydion. They're a Viking folk metal act from Portugal. They had some sad news. Their keyboardist and original member Daniel Cesar has passed away at the age of 45. Fortunately, it was just a post. I didn't get too much details on what happened. Sad. Sad. I mean, it looks like they're a pretty big band over in Portugal, and I guess they'll be missed. All right. And then we're gonna go into some metal bochinche. All right, Trevor, I got you. All right, Foo Fighters fire drummer Josh Freese, and he's like, I'm not angry, just a bit shocked and disappointed. John Freese has been fired from Foo Fighters. They didn't really get into too much. I didn't want to go too much into the article that I read, but basically, I mean, he was with the band, since he took over, and as far as what he says, everything was fine and dandy. And he's just basically shocked because he said he's a drummer in his 40s, and he's never had, I guess, the experience of being fired or kicked out of a band. But he says that he had a great time with the band, off on and off the stage, and guess wishes them nothing but the best. But we know how he really feels. Yeah, and also we have I got some National Enquirer news. Okay. Vincent Crowley and Asheron are touring Finland. Oh, they have a show in Finland. I don't know if they're touring. I know they had to. He reached out. He had to go and board a flight over to Finland. He got there. I know he's freaking tired. He had some little layovers and whatnot, but he got it. I saw this of some snapshots of their show, and also there's somebody else waiting for him in the background. I'm just gonna leave it out there. Vincent, just watch your back, brother. Watch your back. All right, I'm going to send it over to Rich Asylum producer to take over. Take it over.
Saturday, Rich. June 14th, Electrocutioner live at Bunker del Diablo. May 30th and 31st, Ear Slaughter Metal Fest with Flesh Parade, Haggis, Arthurus, and more.